All right, Sam Mack is in Sydney learning about sport climbing, a new Olympic event. I'll be fascinated with this, Sam.
Yeah, can't wait to learn all about it. We're going to have some of our athletes who will be competing. It starts tomorrow night in Tokyo. Sport climbing, first time at the Olympics. I didn't know this. Around 300,000 Australians participate in the sport of sport climbing. So it's gaining popularity. And, of course, being at the Olympics, being on the world stage is only going to encourage more and more youngsters to get involved. So this morning we're going to learn all about it. There's 3 different disciplines. We'll tell you about those through the morning as well. But let's do a check of your weather. 2 Olympians join us this morning. We'll have a coach. We can't wait to find out more about the Australian sport, or the Australians participating in sport climbing. And this is a great thing. After this morning, when we watch it on TV in the Olympics tomorrow night, we're all going to be experts. So just join me as we become experts over the next few hours.
Yeah, like you helped us with the BMX the other day and the skateboarding.
Yes.
Excellent.
I've got your back, Koshi.
Yeah, we knew what we were talking about. Just 1 hour, that was it.
All right, mate.
Let's get a weather check. Sam Mack is in Sydney learning about sport climbing.
Yeah, good morning, Nat. Brand new Olympic sport officially debuting tomorrow night. So we're going to get a bit of insight this morning to learn more about it, learn who our Aussie athletes are as well. Rob is joining us from the Sydney Indoor Climbing Gym. You run that. Good morning.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
Really good. This is such an exciting time for you guys, of course. We were saying earlier, over 300,000 people are involved in sport climbing in Australia. We're going to talk about Tom O'Halloran because he's representing Australia. Talk us through what sport climbing is for those that have never seen it or participated.
Well, in sport climbing, we have 3 disciplines, and you'll see them tomorrow night at 6 p.m. when they start. The first is speed, where the climbers try to race up the wall to see who gets up there the quickest. The next one is boulder, where they have a series of short climbs which they have to try and climb within a certain amount of time, 5 or 4 minutes, depending on the...
Is it true that they don't get them until just before the climb?
They've never seen them before,
wow.
so
they're
totally
making those decisions on the fly.
Yeah, so there's a lot of problem solving and a lot of power involved in boulder. And then you've got lead, where again, it's a totally unique climb. Nobody's ever seen it before. The climbers come out, they have 6 minutes to look at it, and then they have 6 minutes to climb it.
This is sounding so out of my skill set. Like, you know, some sports you're like, I could do that. I look at this one and I'm like, absolutely not, under no circumstances. But that's good. That's why we see the best of the best. In the moment, I want to talk about our Aussie chances heading into tomorrow night, but let's do your weather. We mentioned Tom. Let's talk about him. So what are his chances? What are we aiming for him when he competes for us tomorrow night?
Well, Tom qualified as Oceania champion, and so he goes in there as our representative for this area. He's a great athlete. He's easily the best outdoor climber in Australia, as well as being our top comp climber.
And he trains with you guys as well at your
he trains a lot at Villawood.
What type of a guy is he? What can we learn about him?
Oh, Tom's fantastic. He's a great guy. He's been around the scene for a long time. He's got a lovely family, and he's just an all-round. I think he's loved by everyone. So everyone in the community is really cheering for Tom and Oceania. We're really excited that they're there.
Well, thank you so much for giving us a bit of insight. It sounds really exciting and a big time for you guys as well, because I'm sure this is doing great things for people getting involved in the sport.
Yeah, it's really attracting people to the sport and bringing them into our community, and it's really showing people just that climbing is the sport. A lot of kids go to climbing gyms for birthday parties and never think of it as a sport option, but now they can see that it is a sport and it's something that they can pursue well into their, their adult life and older.
That's about the limit of the rocks that I can climb, just so you're gauging where I'm at the moment. But thank you for sharing it with us, guys. This is going to be really exciting. Another brand new sport to cheer for the Aussies tomorrow night. Check it out.
I know. All those parents who stood there at the birthday party and held the ropes.
Sam Mack is in Sydney learning about sport climbing, the new Olympic sport.
Yeah, good morning, Koshi. It debuts tomorrow night. Marley Farquharson joining us now. It's Marley and me. This is very exciting to have this sport finally on the world stage, Marley. You are 17 years old. You competed in 2019 in the World Junior Championships. You came 25th in the world. Congratulations, that's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Tell us about this sport and why why you've dedicated so much of your time and effort to it.
I've just always really loved the sport. From the moment I started, when I was put into it for my dad for an after-school program, I just was hooked straight away. I was really, really driven to get good because my older sister did it as well, and I just really wanted to beat her. But it's just...
So it comes from a place of motivation to beat your older sister. I love that. That's a great motivation.
Yeah, and it's such a mentally and physically demanding sport, which I really like. It always gives me a good workout. And And there's just such a great community in climbing. I've met so many really nice people and loads of friends there as well.
So much of it is about power as well, because the speed climbing, which we're seeing a little bit of, the top guys are getting up there in sort of 5 seconds, which is unbelievable power and speed and problem solving in their minds. Is that what draws you to it as well, that adrenaline?
Yeah, it's such a good sport. Like, every time you finish a climb, you feel like you're on top of the world. All the comps as well, whenever you do really good in a comp. Like, one time I beat our Olympic champion right now, Tom O'Halloran.
You beat him?
I beat him in a speed climbing competition.
Humble brag. I love this. Hang on, we're going to talk more about this in a moment, because we were talking about him before, guys. We showed some vision of Tom earlier. He's representing us at the Olympics tomorrow night. I love that Marley's used this as a bit of a flex to say, yeah, I'm the junior, but yes, I beat our Olympian. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's see your weather first. Tell us about when you beat Tom.
It was the adult, so Open National Championships, I think 2 years ago now. I only beat him in the speed part. I think it's because he slipped a little bit, but...
we don't need to focus on that part of the story. You beat him.
I did beat him.
So, essentially, you should be representing us at the Olympics. That's all right. That's what we do in TV. We take that, we turn it into a headline. No, really great to meet you, Marley, and I guess you would have your eyes on Paris or LA, the Olympics after that.
I'd really like to. It's a big commitment, and considering Paris is only 3 years away, I want to put in the effort. I just have to see how school's going and all that stuff. Yeah. But if not, definitely I'm going to try to get to LA.
Well, you're doing great things. You already beat Tom. Great to have you on, mate. Congratulations. Good luck. We'll keep an eye on you. And it all starts tomorrow night, so we can watch Tom in action. And as you watch him tomorrow, just remember that Marley beat him, OK?
Sam Mack is in Sydney learning about sport climbing.
Yeah, it's another debutant at these Olympic Games. Good morning, Nat. We will be chatting with a number of members of the sport climbing community, because it all starts tomorrow, our time, live from Tokyo. So when you watch it tomorrow, after watching this morning's show, you know a little bit more about what's going on, and it's a fascinating sport, very exciting. Let's do a check of your weather. We'll be back with more in half an hour, but for now, it's over to you, Koshi.
Sport climbing, which is another new Olympic sport.
Yeah, very first time at the Olympics, and it all kicks off tomorrow night, Koshi. So we are chatting with the sport climbing community, learning more about the sport. So when we watch it tomorrow, we know what's going on. Let's say good morning to a number of our friends, families, supporters around the country. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, an extremely exciting time for your sport climbing community. We have Tom O'Halloran, of course, competing for us tomorrow night. We talked a bit about that. We have his wife and his daughter there. Good morning. Hello there, Amanda and Audrey. Thank you very much. We'll have a chat with you guys soon. The Hornshaw family. You've got your own climbing wall in your house, which is super impressive. We can see it in the background. Do you want to get the youngsters to give us a little bit of a demo in the background? Whenever you're ready, go for it. Show us a bit of a climb. And tell us about what motivated you to put it there in the house.
Yeah, well, it's been very helpful now that we've got lockdowns and things to have our own boulder wall in the house. We actually built it about 3 years ago before we had that situation. But Hugo here climbs on it every single day, trains on the wall. The girls have a go as well. So, yeah, it's become steeper and a bit more difficult over the years.
I love that. Well, as we saw with the BMX riding, you know, building the facilities at your house can lead to a gold medal. No pressure, kids. We'll have a chat with more of you guys in a moment. It is such an exciting time for the sport of sport climbing. But first, we'll do your weather. Let's go to Naomi from Sport Climbing Australia. Naomi, tell me, how big a deal is it for your sport to, as of tomorrow night, be on the Olympic stage?
I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to see a real showcase of the 3 disciplines of our sport. Everyone can learn more about it and see what a great sport it is, and hopefully go out and give it a try.
Are we a chance? I mean, I feel like there's added pressure on this question when I say, are we a chance for a medal, given that Tom O'Halloran's wife and daughter are on this chat as well. That's the beauty of Zoom. Are we a genuine chance? Because I don't know, where do we stand in the world in terms of sport climbing?
Because the format is so new and unusual, it's really difficult to make a prediction on the results. There's speed is very different, the 3 disciplines, so there's no real discipline specialist advantage here. So it's wide open for anyone.
Oh, I like the sound of that. And given the games, the way that we've performed at these games, anything is possible. We're going to come back to you guys in the next half an hour or so, so stay on there. Thank you for coming on to represent your sport. Love the backdrops. We're going to chat with Amanda and Audrey very soon as well. We'll be back with more in half an hour.
Learning about sport climbing.
We are. Good morning, Nat. It all kicks off in the Olympics for the very first time tomorrow night. We've got a few Aussies competing as well. So this morning we're checking in with the sport climbing community to learn more about it, to familiarise ourselves, so when we watch it tomorrow, we've got a little bit more of an idea of what's happening. It's very exciting, of course, for that community. Let's do your weather. We'll be back with more from Bondi in half an hour. We'll see you soon.
The newest Olympic sport, sport climbing.
Yeah, this is the very first time that it's ever made it to the Olympics, so it is a big deal, and it all kicks off tomorrow night. So we're finding out a bit more about our competitors, our athletes who will be competing for us, with a number of people who are involved with the sport, and including we have Tom O'Halloran. He will be representing us. We have his partner and his daughter there, Amanda and Audrey. We have his coach there, and we have a number of representatives. Good morning, everyone. What an exciting time this is for sport climbing. We've been learning a lot about it this morning. Coach Will Hammersler, thank you very much for joining us. I know it's a very busy time for you. Can you first of all tell us a bit about Tom, for those that aren't familiar, and also our female athlete, Oceana? Tell us about them.
Yeah, so Tom is our male competitor, and he's got an exceptional history of incredible outdoor climbing and qualified at the Continental Championships. So he's over here representing Australia. And then Oceana McKenzie has a lot of international competitive experience and managed to make a final in Meiringen not too long ago, back when borders were open. And she'll be representing Australia.
So we've got quite a formidable lineup there, which is very exciting. And I see you've displayed some of your artwork that you've been working on in the background there. Well done on that. Now, this is an IOC regulation. When you talk about sport climbing, you actually technically have to play the Miley Cyrus song, The Climb. So if we could just cue that, guys, this is an IOC directive. Yeah, everyone could put your hands in the air and just wave along. This is a directive from the IOC, apparently. Not everyone at once. Yeah, that's great. We're going to have more on sport climbing in a moment. Thank you, Miley. Well, let's see your weather around Australia. Amanda and Audrey, you're excited, of course, to watch Tom in action tomorrow night. I love the backdrop there. You've done a great job theming it up with all the Aussie support. Well done on that. How are you feeling, Amanda? Because you're a very good competitor yourself. Are you nervous? How would Tom be feeling right now?
I'm so nervous that I'm waking up at night. I think I'm probably more nervous than him. No, he's good. He's getting in the zone now. We're being careful to just talk about simple things like colours of cushions, not talk about performance or anything like that.
I like it. And what colour cushion is he? What colour cushion is he partial to? Does he have a favourite colour cushion? This might be great intel for all the fans.
What colour do you reckon? Probably blue.
Yeah, and can we get? What about if we get a message from Audrey to Dad, who tomorrow night will be representing Australia at the Olympics? This is a huge deal. The first time the sport has ever been in the Olympics. Audrey, what do you want to say to Dad?
Good luck, Daddy.
Oh, the goosebumps. Laurie Lawrence, the inspiration. Whoa, felt that. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, Amanda. Guys, we'll all be cheering for him tomorrow. Guys, give us a wave. Thank you. This is exciting for the sport of rock climbing, for sport climbing tomorrow in the Olympics. We'll all be cheering them on. Back to you, Koshi.